Papa Louie. The man, the guy, the entrepreneur, owner of at least 4 restaurants, Papa Louie and his series started in the year 2006 with a platform adventure of the Papa himself defending citizens from these pizza monsters. This flash game would unknowingly release upon the internet a storm of games to come after, all with different restaurants to manage, cook for, and make your own. From pizza, to burgers, to tacos, to sundaes, to pancakes, to wings, to hot dogs, to cupcakes, to pasta, to donuts, to grilled cheeses, to pies, to sushi, to ice cream sandwiches, to kind of coffee, to
Popeye's chicken sandwich.
There's a lot of Papas out there.
I love Papa Louie games.
I know many friends who have wasted away boarding class playing a game or two on their computer to pass time. Some cupcakes here or there, some Freezeria, definitely Freezeria. Even I remember taking music lessons and using the computer in the lobby just to play Freezeria. It's a big core memory of mine. But from a very, very young age, I've been hooked on these games. Not just as a time waster, I would waste away playing these games. Even when I worked at Starbucks, I got sick for a while and I played Mocharia to get over the FOMO of not being in a cafe. The addiction runs deep. That being said, it's kinda hard to talk about it. Most conversations boil down to, oh yeah, I remember that game, I made cupcakes on the class laptop, or I played Freezeria in the media lab, and that's all. But I think about the series every day, or at least every day as of late. It's always been a time waster, but since the release of 2023's Freezeria Deluxe on Steam, giving the old classic the quality of life it always deserved with the series' best features, I haven't stopped playing them when I'm bored. And with Papa's Paletaria, newly released as of the time recording this, I decided I should talk about the series. I have so many thoughts, opinions of my own, niche bits of knowledge, and random arbitrary things to rank and speak about that I want to push out into the aether. So today I want to give you my initial rankings on the series. I've played through every single one, some to completion, or at least ad nauseum, so I wanted to let you know how I feel like they stack up compared to one another. I plan on deep diving on each of them later and, recompiling my thoughts after completing every game. And when I say completing, I mean at bare minimum unlocking Papa, but for some games unlocking all the stickers. It's a bit of a complicated process, but I promise it'll make sense as we go. It's also worth noting that while I will talk about and play both the mobile and the flash ports of all the games, I still have them on my laptop, I may reference the HD or iPad versions of some of these games, but I'm not going to play them. They discontinued the HD series, and I don't have an iPad accessible to play them. Suck it up, Thog don't care. In order of release, Pizzeria, Burgeria, Taco Mia, Freezeria, Pancakeria, Burgeria HD, Wingeria, Jacksmith, Hotdoggeria, Burgeria ToGo, Cupcakeria, Freezeria HD, Pastaria, Freezeria ToGo, Donuteria, Wingeria HD, Pizzeria ToGo, Cheeseria, Cupcakeria ToGo, Cupcakeria HD, Bakeria, Taco Mia HD, Sushiria, Taco Mia ToGo, Pancakeria HD, Pizzeria HD, Hotdoggeria HD, Hotdoggeria ToGo, Scooperia ToGo, Scooperia HD, Pancakeria ToGo, Wingeria ToGo, Donuteria ToGo, Cheeseria ToGo, Bakeria ToGo, Sushiria ToGo, Pastaria ToGo, Cluckeria ToGo, Freezeria Deluxe, and Paletaria ToGo. That's all of them as of March 2024. Now to talk about them in short and tell you where I think they rank. Papa's Pizzeria 2007. Papa's Pizzeria is where it all started. This isn't just the first game in the series, but it's also the first game of its kind for the developers, Matt and Tony, aka Flipline Studio. And it is an old-ass game. I mention this because while the other games in the series start adapting a style, a vibe, and everything, this game remains entirely unique, which I personally think makes it stand out. It has no bells and whistles, no flair, and all the jank of a series first. Not all the jank is welcome, per se. The UI is a bit odd at times, and to make a pizza, you have to click a button instead of it just automatically happening, and you can, save them for later? I don't know, it's weird. That in the game is very difficult at times. These customers will mob you in fast groups, as many as 10 a day, and grade you incredibly harshly. Getting a perfect pizza is a Herculean task at times, most of the time. That being said, the game is a very fun romp overall, just tonally different from the rest of the series in a lot of ways. No frills, no fodder, just raw-ass Papa's gameplay. I wouldn't say it's a great game, but it's certainly a classic for a reason. I give it a D, but that is in no way a testament to its quality, just rather that everything that follows it is better, or much better in some ways. It would have to be a bad game to receive an F, which it doesn't. Burgeria 2010. I fucking hate Burgeria. Walk with me here for a second. Burgeria is the second in the series, and it sets a lot of the staple parts of the series, such as the design and tone, but oh my god, does it still blow at times. If Pizzeria is the OG parentheses positive, Burgeria is the OG parentheses derogatory. It introduces lobby decor, which is nice, but it doesn't feel all that rewarding. It also just generally feels easy, I guess, which I don't know. What you see is what you get. Make burgers. Doesn't get any fancier the whole way through, which really starts to weigh on you the further on you go. Pizzeria has its challenge and a frantic nature to carry you through its simplicity, and Burgeria just lacks it. Not to mention there's only 3 stations. It's a series staple to have 4 stations, but Burgeria in any of its forms lacks a 4th, which adds to the sense of how simple it is. And the mechanical depth this game does have only creates annoyances more than intricacies or fun mechanics. What do you mean a heat lamp is an upgrade? The upgrade only exists to enforce the cheese strategy of cooking all your patties at the beginning of the day, then never looking back at the grill station. It's dumb and it makes me sad. I'm a burger lover, a burger boy if you will, and this does not produce a happy meal. It gets an F. I have to say though, I think a lot of my disdain for Burgeria is that while the older games in the franchise get better in later ports, Burgeria never does. It always sucks. It is, as a game, the Paschal Lamb for the series that sucks to make all the newer games better, or the old games better when they get renewed. Sorry Burgeria, hopefully one day you'll get the deluxe treatment. Taco Mia, 2011. With Taco Mia, strange name, I know, they should have gone with Taqueria, but whatever, tacos, something about clarity. You could tell things are starting to get better. Nothing amazing, but certainly better. For starters, you have things to unlock, meaning you actually have goals to desire, and you get to unlock new ingredients. I don't know about you, but this is a huge draw for me. I love watching customer orders change over time and getting new things to work with and cook, and finally seeing it in a Papa's game in which this is a normal thing. It's a breath of fresh air. As well, there's new stuff to buy in an improved shop for upgrades and character cosmetics, which was a nice precursor to the customization we would soon see in the series. Lastly, this game introduces achievements and also closers, the harsh customers that come at the end of the day to provide you with a challenge, or at least a tougher grade when giving them their food. Maybe it's the addition of new meat to cook, or at least the choices I get to make when creating your taco, like shells and new toppings, but I can somewhat excuse a lack of a 4th station here. Emphasis almost, but this is a game that finally gets a 4th station later on in its life. Anyway, it's a solid game and really shows the promise of what the series has to offer. I'm surprised not many people talk about this game, but I think it's personally a really solid C. Freezeria, 2011. Freezeria is exactly what we are talking about. This is the true classic that transcends time. This is the first game to truly master and capture what makes these games great. By way of improvements, nothing much more than lobby decor, but this game truly makes the formula feel great. Simple build, mix, and top. But there's tons of ways to customize each and every Sunday smoothie thingy that you'll end up constantly excited to see what comes next. I feel like everyone I know who knows these games knows this game at a minimum, and I can't think of a person who dislikes this one, and I'm not one of them either. Papa's games still have a way to go from here as a series, but I feel remiss to give this game anything short of an S. Truly the GOAT of its time. Worth noting in this section, instead of at the very end, is Papa's Freezeria Deluxe, which released just last year at 2023 for Steam. This deluxe version includes every single quality of life change to hit the franchise to this date, and is truly the definitive way to play this game. Tons of customization, tons to unlock, so much fun to be had in a fully built from the ground up remaster of the original. If the OG was an S, this is a Sonic Riders Trick System X. This transcends all Papas to give you the best experience possible. Deluxe, much like all the mobile games and iPad ports of Papa's, does cost a couple bucks, but I can't recommend playing it enough. Worth every cent, and I'd pay $20 for it if it meant throwing a bone to the folks who have kept these games of my childhood free. Don't make it $20 though, Matt and Tony. I still love you though. Next Deluxe game win? Smile. Pancakeria, 2012. Pancakeria has always been an odd one, but I've always liked it, even back then. It adds a huge mainstay feature, the mini-games that occur at the end of each day. It also adds the parade, and I can't think of a single time anyone has made note of this feature outside of questioning why it exists. In its original state though, the game is just alright. Not too bad by itself, but compared with the other games in the franchise, it's got some real odd spots of age. For example, this game has 4 stations, but you have to actually unlock the drinks. I didn't think they were that crazy to need unlocking, but the whole station, let alone drink and mix and stuff within it. As well, this is the first game without placing of its kind, so it kind of feels jank at times, and it's a little odd to get the perfect. Overall though, it's still a decent game. I'd still probably give it a C though. It'll get better. Mini section to talk about Burgeria HD since it came out here before our next game. This is how I'll talk about the HD ports without ranking them, because as stated, I want to reference the way they exist or how they differ from the to-go or normal variants of the games, even if I'm not playing them. Sorry, not sorry. Anywho, Burgeria HD still sucks. Surprising, no. It definitely improves what it can by adding mini games, decorating the lobby a little bit more, and some unlockable ingredients, but it really doesn't justify its existence outside of a mobile port of Burgeria. First mobile port too, so of course they had to reduce some stuff and start somewhere, but for a stab at Burgeria again, I really wish they had something more. Big shame. Wingeria 2012. Unpopular opinion, but I think Wingeria is overhated. It's not an amazing game, but it definitely is a good one. Better than I think people give it credit for being. Not only does it introduce OCs into the game, hey ma, look, that's me, but it also includes clothing options too. Hey ma, look, it's style savvy. Most people's difficulty curve with this game comes with plating, but if I'm being honest, it's not that bad. Nothing super easy, but it's not that bad. You have to get used to it before it begins to click. Not to mention, it's got some of like my favorite music in the franchise, like the whole franchise. Listen to the Fry theme, dude. Oh, that's good. It's the first game I also feel that truly grasps its aesthetic outside of Papa or restaurant. It gives such good Vegas. Also, this is one of the only games to have like a secret way to peek at what your customers are ordering each day, and it's a total Easter egg too. Check the lucky numbers, the sandwich board, and the casino signs to see the first 3 wing types, their quantity, and their sauce. That's neat. I think that's cool. Wingeria has a lot of hidden charm that I hope gets improved one day so people can recognize how cool it is. Nothing perfect, no doubt, but in my eyes, solid B tier. Personally, I'd rank it A, but I think objectively it's a B. Another mini section because I've got to talk about Jacksmith. Even though Flipline does predominantly the Papa's games, they at one point combined fantasy and fun into a weaponsmithing game called Jacksmith. It definitely is different enough from the rest of the Papa's game to not be included here, but I'd love to talk about it someday separate because it's a whole different video. You get to make weapons and lead soldiers to fight, and it's got this truly unique aesthetic, and it was never done again, which is a true shame. But out of these mini blurbs, this is the game that you need to look into. Play Jacksmith. I need people to know about Jacksmith. Hotdoggeria 2012. Hotdoggeria doesn't get the attention I think it should for what it is. And what is it? A better savory game than Burgeria, that's for sure. It's very easy, a bit too easy at times, but a whole lot of fun for what it is, which is making hot dogs. I'm also obsessed with its aesthetic. It's fully baseball themed. I'm no sports fan, but I am a Dodgers fan. Let's go Doyers. Even down to its last station, the pop station, incredibly fucking clever, seeing as that you craft both popcorn and soda pop. Good bit, great bit even. As far as what the game adds, it's a lot of quality of life to some of the more subtle parts of the game design, like updating some customer designs and changing how the furniture works to welcome in the new system in the next game, wink wink wink. All around not a perfect Papa's game by any metric. I know that I hold a lot of personal bias because I enjoy this one a lot, but it is without a doubt a standard for how these savory games should be. A very strong A tier. Time to talk about our first mobile app, and it's fucking Burgeria ToGo 2013. Okay, biases aside, the one thing you'll begin to notice about this game, and the first few mobile ports, is that they're a little low quality and can be a bit of a D-make. Totally valid, especially for an early phone game, but god, they can't stop doing Burgeria dirty at any chance they get. Credit where credit is due, they do away with a lot of annoying stuff like the temperature, and there's finally more than 4 ingredients to unlock, but it's not a lot though. But the problem is that amidst all the brand new features we've been getting, ToGo lacks all of it. Again, things have to get better from here on out, but god, it's noticeably worse here, and it's the worst ToGo game, far and apart. Sorry, but I'm just a little hater. F tier. Cupcakeria 2013. Cupcakeria is next, and I used to not get the hype behind this one. Next to Freezeria, Cupcakeria was the one that everyone would talk about, and I somewhat didn't get it, but now I do. Big thing to talk about with this game is the inclusion of holidays, which I think are probably one of the best things about these games from this point on. The level of content introducing seasons and holidays pads out the game incredibly well, and each of them are completely different and unique in vibe and what they bring, and later on they're not afraid to change out holidays for different holidays. It was a good move for the series all around. Now as for the game itself, I think it's good. Controversial opinion, but I think it's just good. Not fucking fantastic, good. You pour, you bake, you decorate, and it's very nice, but it's not the most forgiving or easy. I've seen people struggle so hard with the frosting. Not me though, y'all stay safe. Overall, I like this game, and I can agree it's a good one, which is why it at least gets an A. Freezeria exists here, custom workers now exist, which is cool, and there's more stuff. Ain't broke, don't fix. Not worth beating a prized but dead racehorse. Moving on. Good game, but mobile now, hooray. Pastaria 2013. I don't hear many people talking about Pastaria, which I know I say about a lot of these games, which is a shame because I think it's a neat game. You boil pasta, you plate it up, and you serve it with some bread. Also included in this game is a dining room, a place for customers to, sit down and eat their friends. What? I'm leaving that in, holy. A place for customers to, sit down and eat with their friends instead of standing around the lobby holding platters of pancakes and wings. Oh, they never went with this choice before, even if purely for aesthetic purpose. You'll hire a second worker to work the dining room, which means, hey ma, look, it's my friend. This game also has an ending, which is cool, all about the marriage of Eduardo and Olga. This game is also the one that I think has the coolest holidays, since it includes holidays that are really specific to it, with Chili Fest, the Gondola 500, Neptune's Feast, and of course, the Romano family wedding. Yes, the entire town of Portolini stops doing everything for the entire month of April just to celebrate it. Yes, this will be a thing in later games that need to carry a story. It's cute and honestly just nicely appreciated. Even if it's not a perfect game, the bread station is just a little too simple for me. I still really enjoy this game's identity, it just needs to let itself be. Nice little pasta romp deserves a solid B for me. I'm glad a lot of the groundwork from this game gets baked into bigger mounts. Freezeria ToGo 2014. The GOAT is back and now on mobile. And my verdict? It's still strong as hell. It's astonishingly good, even at a reduction. It just goes to show how good Freezeria was on its own. So many new toppings and mix-ins and syrup, this game fully dwarfs its PC and HD counterparts. Even with minigames and holidays and customizable characters gone, it manages to be a fantastic feeling game and one I 100% way back in elementary school on my iPad. That's how old this game is, that's how good this game is, that's how good I am at this game. Solid S tier for me. Donuteria 2014. Donuteria was the next game on PC to come out, the 10th brand new game in the series at that. There's some new quality of life in a lot of places, and while not confirmed, it definitely feels like it's playing on a brand new, more modern engine in some way, shape, or form. My thoughts? I think it's neat, but I must say it needs something. I'm not sure what something is yet, but I promise I'm thinking of what it could be, and this totally isn't foreshadowing. The donuts themselves are fun to make and decorate, but I must admit there's a bit of trickiness sometimes with the sheer quantity of what you're doing. Every order comes with 3, so each time you've got 3 separate pieces to manage and decorate so minimally in order to balance the game. I think it's a very solid time, even if it's missing something, and one I thoroughly enjoy playing. It's a very solid A from me. Wingeria HD blurb here. It got released here and it added the dining room, but nothing else. Cool, I guess. Please be better by ToGo. I believe in you, Wingeria. Pizzeria ToGo, 2014. Pizzeria ToGo is the next to go on the list, and I think it's okay. Nothing spectacular, but a nice touch-up from its original release. If Pizzeria was released with the now mastered aesthetic of the rest of the series, this is exactly what it would look like. The game is made considerably easier compared to its original, and it still lacks some of the nice touches of the future games like holidays or minigames, but as it stands alone, it still has the charm. It really is just the original game with a little TLC to make it work with the series and the iPhone. Nothing wrong with a standard C for a standard feeling game. Cheeseria, 2015. In my eyes, Cheeseria is a very, very divisive game. For every good thing I could say, the game shows me trash, and for everything I could possibly say bad about the game, there is a silver lining. That being said, this game is very much fine, and that's a very big Scott the Woz.
It looks fine.
Which is somehow controversial because everybody either thinks this game is total ass or absolutely the shit. To break down the good, the game adds easily one of my favorite features, which is specials. These preset recipes both give you additional challenge and benefit for your restaurant. I think it's really cool, and it constantly has you cycling through new recipes and different ingredients you haven't gotten to use, which I think is awesome. Also, none of the seasonal toppings are used, so you can make them at any time. Not to mention, this game adds clothing overhaul, making everything way nicer and fit with any season, any vibe. It gives us a tutorial skip, and it's overall a much better sandwich building game than Burgeria, even though the bar for that is on the floor. That being said, it's not a great one. It's just a fine one. The fry section has this inexplicable jank to it where I can hardly tell if I've got it right or how to properly time it at any given moment. As well, though the take of building then cooking the food is unique, it doesn't feel the best overall from a gameplay standpoint. And my biggest gripe? I think the music sucks. It has this strange brass ska vibe, which I would otherwise like, but the composition is weird and it kind of just gets on my nerves most of the time. I can have one game where I gloat about the music and how much I love it, and one game where I trash it, and this is definitely my trash music one. Which is a shame since the game's overarching story is all about music, but whatever. Again, this game is objectively not bad, but it does leave me wanting some things to be different. It gets a B. Cupcakeria ToGo, 2015. Cupcakeria ToGo is the first to-go game to add both minigames and holidays to ToGo's future, which is nice, seeing as both of these mechanics were present in it originally. It would have been a shame to lose these features. It's also one of those games where the base game is already good, so the to-go one feels fine as well. I will say it feels a bit sensitive and jank at points, especially when it comes to decorating the cupcakes, but I think that's because I'm much more used to only decorating one physically at a time, and doing more decorating than one object on the phone is a little bit tricky. It doesn't feel the best, but I don't hate it. Solid A to-go game, which is great because it only gets better from here. Cupcakeria HD blurb, it gets a new holiday, that's it, rah. Bakeria, 2016. Bakeria. I don't love Bakeria. I think it's a fine game with the best fix to the entire series, which I'll talk about in a second, but I'm focusing on the gameplay first, and this entry plays like syrup, and I'm not talking about it in a fun and engaging way. This game really champions precision more than timing, which is fine in theory, but when tasked with getting every topping and drizzle perfect, while also having nothing to do for 80% of the playtime, it doesn't feel like the greatest loop. I like the idea of making and decorating pies, it just doesn't feel like much of anything we've done yet. I just wish it was faster. I have no problem with patience in these games, but you really notice how the tempo between games change when you play all of them. That being said, this game does introduce stickers! It's an achievement alternative that instead of just giving money and game tickets of mundane milestone challenges, it challenges the players to have fun with the game they're playing. Fulfill this super specific task. Get these orders out fast before their customers make it into the restaurant. Serve the special to this person. Burn your kitchen down with shittily made pies. All things that aren't normally the focal point of day-to-day gameplay, if you're just baking decent pies every day. I think this is a fantastic achievement system and a wonderful addition to the series, but the game itself is only okay. Not great even, but it could be better. A solid C. Sorry, Pie Guys. Fun fact, this game released on Pi Day. That's cute though. Takomiya HD blurb. This game got considerably the biggest facelift out of any previous game so far. It's actually crazy. The first game to get a new station being Chips and Dip, it receives specials, receives stickers, and holidays. Obviously it doesn't need to get judged here, but these are all welcome additions that the game seriously needed, and I'm glad it got this love. Sushiria 2016. Sushiria is a very unique game, something that can be said for every game that isn't about stacking sandwiches or making a dessert from the series, but it has a very particular feel that doesn't get replicated ever again. And maybe it's for the better? It has some of the odd pacing issues I've mentioned before, with the rice cooking that I can never quite nail down the timing for, and while I like building, decorating, and cutting sushi, there's this inexplicable sense of it not being the most satisfying thing to pull off. It feels as though the game is arbitrarily difficult by design, and while not intended, does leave me feeling frustrated playing it. While I don't hate this game, I wish it felt a little bit better to play, especially because I totally dig the aesthetic and the unique parts of its gameplay, and how different it is from some of the other stuff. I do enjoy the boba station as a secondary, and as far as new additions are concerned, being able to send a customer a coupon to guarantee their arrival is quite nice, especially for those stickers. It's a solid B game. Takomiya ToGo 2017. Takomiya ToGo is how you update a game. It feels great to play as far as its system is concerned, and I enjoy nearly every part of it. It manages to keep everything intact from the HD port for the most part, like the chip and dip section gets to come back, the holidays are here, specials are here, lobby decor is good, better upgrades are good, and while stickers are still MIA, being replaced with the old school achievements, the game finally starts to feel as though it's hitting a series standard. It feels nice to get to focus on the gameplay of a Papa's game instead of just checkboxing what the game does and doesn't include. All that being said, Takomiya is a bit harsh on grading, but truly is my only complaint. That should tell you how decent of a game we're working with. Nothing special, but it shows a spectacular future for the series. It's a solid B, which isn't an insult, but a compliment to how far the game has grown. I'm proud of you, bud. HD lightning round, since the HD ports are close to not existing anymore, and we get 3 of them in a row after Takomiya ToGo. Pancakeria HD fixes the issue of needing to unlock the drink station and adds a lot of the series' quality of life. Pizzeria HD gets a huge facelift, revamping the pizza building station to even change cheeses and sauce and crust, changing the dining room to the delivery boy, adding holidays, and making the game in general so much nicer to play. So unfortunate this version of the game is locked behind the HD version, making the ToGo a bit lacking, and the original still feel like the dated, unique game it is. Hotdoggeria gets the obvious series quality of life, and it adds hockey. That's cute. Hotdoggeria ToGo 2017. Hotdoggeria is the last ToGo game that has this outdated engine, and the last one to feel relatively antiquated compared to the new games that come out next, and I've gotta say, it holds up really well, which is nice. No perfect game, but the quality of life missing in its original state is exactly what the game needed to make it a great entry. As well, this game's feel is considerably strengthened by being on mobile, which is a stark difference from other entries in the ToGo series. Maybe there's some bias because this is one of the few games I have already 100%ed in the past, but it's a fantastic game, even if not the most perfect or polished in the little ways. A solid A in my book, which is higher than most of the old ToGo series were anyway. Scooperia 2018. As of right now, Scooperia is the last Flash game in the series, you know, with Flash being dead and everything. And Flipline knew this, and they decided to go out on their Cool Math Games empire with a bang. Though it isn't their last game by a long shot, Scooperia is the last free game available online, and it has you making cookie sundaes. In this game, you'll scoop cookie dough, bake the cookies, and scoop ice cream to top it, and all around, it's incredibly fun. This game also introduces one of the most interesting gimmicks being dynamic ordering, which means that a customer's order starts off super basic with only a single cookie and a single scoop of ice cream, but it gradually changes based on if they dine in, or if they have star medals, or if they're closers, etc. It keeps the orders for customers even more fresh and evolving. Some people are torn on the change, but I think it's a fantastic addition, even if it does add a brand new layer of difficulty. The dessert itself has so much room to customize it, which feels nice, and all around, I can't think of something bad to say about it. In a vacuum, it beats out Freezeria, but the nostalgia of how well it holds up constantly pushes it higher. That being said, a wonderful S-tier addition to the series. Scooperia HD is the same exact game as the PC game. Scooperia ToGo, 2018. If there's one thing I'm glad about with Scooperia ToGo, it's that it's the first game in the series on a phone to not have a single compromise be made. All of the development time in Scooperia went to also ensuring that there would be a brand new polished engine for the future ToGo games, since at this moment in time they were banking on mobile games in lieu of Flash dying. Was this ever worth it? 100%. 1000%. The difference in raw quality of gameplay alone between Hotdoggeria ToGo and Scooperia ToGo is night and day. Now to list all the features that we can finally get in this post-Scooperia world. For one, we get custom characters finally, which is a lovely addition. I think some people were patient enough to consider how hard it was keeping up with the level of customization to match the main games would be on a worse engine. No caveats made here too, which is nice. Stickers also finally land, making achievements worth it, and you now get access to a delivery person instead of a dining room, which I think is cute. Parade. The game controls incredibly well for the phone, which I presume was the intention behind how it was designed for the computer as well, knowing that this would have to be a phone game from its inception at the same exact time. No big changes, which lets this game keep its S-tier ranking. Expect both a higher standard and quality for the ToGo games, and an influx in ToGo remakes in order to preserve those games for the phone during the Flash closure. Most importantly, be ready for me to say a lot of the same things, because now it's just about if the game plays nice on the phone or if it doesn't. Pancakeria ToGo, 2018. Now that I can only focus on the gameplay and not whether or not games have things or not, Pancakeria holds up well. Nothing perfect, mind you. There is a little bit of annoyance that comes with having spots that only waffles can be cooked on, or the low amount of customization for the drink station, but it's a good game nonetheless. I'm just glad they're unlocked at the start. I give it a strong A. At this point, it holds up well enough, and I actually actively enjoy going back to it. Wingeria ToGo, 2019. This is the first time Wingeria has received a true facelift with the series' quality of life, and I gotta say, except for one thing, I'm glad to say I'm still a Wingeria apologist. Gone are the napkins that bog down a game, removing smudges left on plates so you can adjust at your heart's content without paying for an item, a hugely appreciated change on the phone with how difficult it is to place things. All else it does is just add and add, making this game stand strong on its own. My one major grievance, though, is that it keeps from being higher on this list because of the roulette of sauces and having to balance timing without having them selected, making it really annoying to sauce the wings, which is such an integral part of the process. I don't know. Sorry, haters. Wingeria is still on top. Top of B tier, but it's still top of my heart as well. Donuteria ToGo. Donuteria somehow pulls something crazy out of its ass to fix its biggest issue. 3 donuts being made is a hassle. Evolving orders being reintroduced in this game does numbers to make it feel incredibly rewarding to play, and the adjustments made to help it work on the phone make it a great game go from good to fantastic. It's no longer a pain to decorate the donuts, and all around that helps immensely with the game challenge, and I wrote verbatim in my notes for this one, works better, changes challenges out its swag. Difficulty good, good to make donuts fun, yas. I think I know what this means. The game is a fantastic change up. It's better that now you can focus on one donut until you get into the trickier orders. This is how you fix a game for the phone, even if it hardly needed it. This is an S tier addition. Hell yeah. Cheeseria ToGo, 2019. So what if instead of making a good game great by iPhoning it, we made an okay game meh? Cheeseria. It's not the worst game, but a lot of its invalid arguments against it are entirely made true in the mobile port, no matter how much is changed. It doesn't feel great to stack sandwiches, fries are just as jank, especially because you can't easily tab over to fries, you have to go from station to station left and right instead of just being at the fry station. It all just feels blah. Not bad per se, but it's just unsatisfying and I have no drive to play this one as much as I changed my mind on its original counterpart. If I have to say one good thing about this port, it's that now the fries have way more toppings, and holiday toppings. Fantastic, thanks guys, C tier. Bakeria ToGo, 2020. Bakeria is the last game to come out before something really random globally occurred. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. And it's surprisingly okay. I don't have a lot of things to say since the pie decoration was made more centralized and easy, and while there is this sense of challenge lost, I think a cozy game is better than an unreasonably difficult game. I like the auto topping, sue me. Pies still take a second, but I can sort of forgive it here since it's just a smidge easier to do all else in the game. It's a solid B tier, which I can sleep good at night with. Sushiria ToGo, 2020. Sushiria ToGo feels a bit better to play than its PC counterpart, and that definitely helps it stand out from some of the other games. Even if it suffers from the design issues that were fundamental to its original state, I think it's nice to be able to play this game on the go with some very minor differences and changes. That being said, building is still a little bit odd to get the hang of. I just happen to think it has its own problems unique to ToGo versus being fundamental issues for that specific part. It's a solid B just because if I can't identify how to make it better, I'm not going to complain about it being worse. Pastaria ToGo, 2020. Pastaria is the last game to get a ToGo remake, and for what it's worth, the facelift and quality of life really goes a long way. There's tons of unique holidays that remain intact, and they keep this game with its unique identity, which is awesome. It uses a build system similar to that of Pancakeria ToGo, which makes for a very comfortable play process. Pastaria was not one to get the series' best editions yet, so seeing them present really shows what a good game was hiding under its confusing exterior. No perfect game, but a damn enjoyable one to contrast some of the other ones out there, so it gets an A. Good job, Paisano. Mocharia ToGo, 2021. Pastaria was the last game to come out with Flash even still available, as it shut down during December of 2020. With an empire of all their games finally rebuilt on the phone, Matt and Tony had to do a little brainstorming and soul-searching as to what the next move would be for their next game. Not wanting to take to any PC risks, the next ToGo game would be an entirely unique game built specifically for their phone. Thus, without a PC counterpart, Mocharia ToGo became the first original phone game, and it's okay. I wish it was a little better, but it was their first pass for a phone game being the original game in the first place. Mocharia has you making lattes and cannolis for customers, and I would say its biggest issues are just that doing both is a little jank. The brewing and steaming of the coffee and milk are very intricate for just very basic parts of the process, and building drinks takes a while due to the time that it takes to pour liquids. I wish it was just a little bit more instantaneous. That and cannolis are so easy and quick to make that you kind of forget that they exist. It's not a bad game, but it's definitely a game that just suffers a little bit of jank. I hope this doesn't discourage them from making original games for the phone though. They could be on the cusp of something really special. Solid B. Cluckeria ToGo, 2022. Now this is a fucking sandwich building game! Their most recent game before Paletaria is Cluckeria, and it has you embark on the Popeye chicken sandwich adventure, fighting against a bunch of other companies to come out on top as the true chicken king. And I've gotta say, I finally found a savory game that I rock with. No complications with the cooking of the chicken, it's super nice slushes to pair with the sandwiches and a system that works well for creating them, and the sandwiches are fun to build to begin with. This game also has maybe one of the coolest additions to date, which is the food truck. You ever wanted to mess with someone's order and make the big fucking mayo sandwich without losing your precious relationship with Wally? The food truck is for you. No tickets, just free will. Create that abominable sandwich. There is unironically a chance that there will be someone who eats it and enjoys it too. Cluckeria's base game already bangs, fixing all my issues with the sandwich building style and then bringing the coolest addition to the franchise in an entire side mode that only earns you extra money and tickets, and you have a recipe for one of the best games in the franchise. Truly a phenomenal end to this marathon of Papas. The game gets a solid S, the only savory game that could ever rival Freezeria or Scooperia. While I don't think it's fair to rank Paletaria with how recent it is to the recording of this video and the fact that I'm still kind of burning my way through it, I will say I enjoy it. It's a little bit on the easy side, but it's got a really nice flow state. It's really unique, and honestly, I think it's just neat. I don't have any really concise or thinkative thoughts about this one. I'm just gonna talk about it later, maybe in its own video. I don't think it's fair to rank something this new. But otherwise, there you have it. That's every Papa's game talked about. Like, all of them actually. I don't care for your opinions, take it from someone who's been playing these games since before they could remember their own existence. I certainly still need to beat all of these games, but I've played more than enough of them to justify all of their placements and my opinions on them. Maybe I'll make a retrospective on each of these games, but I'll make it there later. If you enjoy this video, let me know in the comments or yell and berate me for having a different opinion than yours. This video was the first of its kind that I've ever fully made, so I appreciate you for making it this far, and all this to say thank you to the series that raised me, and damn myself for knowing, like, too much about these games. I can't wait to see what they do next. Maybe they'll fix Burgeria. Who knows?